Hi, so today I'm going to be talking about the famous Battle of Little Bighorn. So it all happened, the battle itself happened on 25th of June 1876 in Montana, US, and it was between Colonel Custer and the Sioux and Cheyenne warriors under Sitting Bull. Well, tensions, I'm going to get into them later, but had been on the rise ever since gold was discovered on Native American territory. And we know how colonists, well, not colonists by this point, but how Americans like to take resources from places that aren't theirs. Well, some tribes ended up missing a federal deadline to move to reservations, and Custer and the 7th Cavalry were sent to confront them and to bring them back. Custer, however, was extremely stupid, and he was outnumbered and overwhelmed and ended up losing the battle. So yeah, let's get right into it. So, well, the Sioux and there was another tribe, but the Sioux and the Cheyenne, like I said, but the Sioux was the main one, and it was under the leadership of of Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. They were constantly resisting U.S. efforts to put them into reservations because the U.S. wanted all the Native American Indians to be like put in one place, and well, Native Americans were like, no. So like the Sioux just didn't. Most of them didn't want to be in the reservations, obviously, but most of them just straight up didn't go. In 1875, some gold was discovered in South Dakota. Now, U.S. People in the U.S. they had just gone out of a civil war, and they kind of wanted money, and they thought, hey, Native American lands, yeah, we can take it from them. So let's just force them to give it to us. And at the same time, put them in reservations. And voila. Win-win. You know? Well, originally the US and Native Americans, they had treaties set up to prevent this. But the US decided to ignore them and just march up into the lands and force the Native American Indians into the reservations. Um, well, yeah, obviously the Americans weren't happy about this. So they just left. They got up and left and just didn't return. Which, well, obviously pissed off the US. So many people joined they joined Cinnabon and Crazy Horse in Montana. They had these two men and their respective tribes. They had managed to avoid being sent to reservations, so they were kind of like the leaders of the Native American resistance. And around by late spring, early June 1876, around 10,000 had amassed by the river in Montana called Little Bighorn. You can see where this is going. Well, by mid-June, the U.S. Army decided to send 3 columns of soldiers to the river to prepare to march against them. Yeah, Native Americans. So there was a first column attack on June 17th, and around 1,200 Native Americans managed to turn them back. So that was a win for the Native Americans. 5 days later, General Terry said to Custer and Custer's 7th Cavalry, hey, you are going to attack the Native Americans, and yeah, better get to it and don't be like the first column and fail. You have to win. So on June 25th, Custer said, okay, let's attack. Let's just attack. Let's not wait for reinforcements because why do we need them? Well, 600 men, Native American men, entered the Little Bighorn Valley, and they spread the word that the U.S. were going to attack them. Remember, there were 2 leaders, Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. Sitting Bull decided to round up and rally the warriors and ensure the safety of the women and children. Crazy Horse, on the other hand, he decided to go up with some warriors and meet the attackers. So Custer, he marched to the Native Americans with 200 men. Like, yo, it's 200 men. I mean, they're no match for us. Come on. This is Native Americans. What are they gonna do against the U.S. Army? I mean, Custer did fight in the Civil War, so he was experienced. So he was really confident. So, like I said, he didn't wait for reinforcements because why would he? Well, Native Americans, they were more prepared than Custer thought. They were met, the U.S. Army were met with around, 3,000 Native Americans. 3,000. So, yeah, they were numbered more than, like, over 21. Obviously, in the battle lasted 1 hour. I know, 1 hour. And Custer and all his men, like literally all of them, were killed. Because you can't go to battle with 200 men against 3,000. You can't do that. So, what happened at the end? Well, it was by far the worst US defeat in the Long Plains Indian War. And, well, the defeat of Custer caused a lot of hatred against Native Americans by white Americans. So, they caused more resentment and more programs to send them to these reservations. And within 5 years, most Sioux and Cheyenne tribes were put in these reservations. I think Crazy Horse died the year after the battle, but Sitting Bull, he lived until 1890? I'm not sure. But he lived a bit longer than Crazy Horse. But yeah, I mean, in the short term, yeah, it was kind of it was a win for the Native Americans. But in the long term, well, that just fueled anti-Native American sentiments. So most of them were put on reservations, and yeah, that is it. Which, by the way, fun fact, you know how sometimes they call like Native American Indians? They're obviously not Indians because Indians are from India. Well, the reason why it's called Indian, like Native American Indians, is because Christopher Columbus, when he discovered America, he thought he had reached India. And that's why they're called Native American Indians. And you can use Native American and Native American Indians, but it's better to use Native Americans. So, yeah. That is it, pretty much it. I'm not going to say anything else because there's not much else to say. I mean, General Custer was really stupid, like extremely stupid. He just couldn't. He couldn't attack, but he had to have. So he. Why didn't he wait for reinforcements? Really stupid. Anyway, that's pretty much it, and I don't have anything else to say. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.